Hey there, everybody. I hope you're doing pretty well today. Let me move this microphone down just a little bit. There we go. We have the Browns of the Yankees here for you. Game one of a doubleheader. So, that, of course, as you know the drill. 2 days from now, that means we'll get game two of this. Here is Eddie Lopat, the pitcher, facing up against Kokos, and that's a strike in there to Kokos for the Browns. 0-1 the count. That's off the inside corner. It's 1-1 now on him. Lopat 4-0, 1.69 ERA, and there's another strike in there to Kokos. It's 1-2. 1.69 ERA, and there's a ground ball over to first base, and Henrik over to get that one, and it goes just under his glove, and that's going to be an error. And Kokos is the runner on at first base. Just looking over at Lopat here, 16 walks, 13 strikeouts, has not given up a home run yet. 31 hits given up in 42.2 innings, so he's been pitching pretty well. Better so far than he did in real life, actually. There's a ball in there to Jerry Pretty, 1-0 the count. A little ground ball over to Bill Johnson at third base. He goes over to Coleman at second for one, onto Henrik at first for the double play. And there's two out just like that. Here's Jack Graham. That's Bill Johnson at third base, by the way. Bobby Brown, we took him out of the lineup. Johnson not hitting much better. Graham hits a ground ball over to Rizzuto. Scooter's got that at short, throws to first, and makes the play. We go to the bottom of the first. Hank Bauer comes up here for the Yankees. And that ball is low, 1-0 the count, and that's inside. It's 2-0 on Hank. There's a strike at the knees, 2-1 the count, and that's a fastball in there. It's 2-2. There's a little fly ball, broken bat, rather, fly ball over to center field. Sievers has that for the out, one away. That'll bring up Jerry Coleman. That first pitch is in there high, ball 1-0 is the count on Jerry. And that's swung on, fouled back, 1-1. There's another foul ball, 1-2 the count now on Coleman, and that is high and away, 2-2 the count. That one misses outside, full count now on Jerry. There's a line drive, and that gets through and into left field for a base hit, and that'll bring up Tommy Henrik here with the runner on at first base. Kind of bizarre, by the way. I'm just looking at this to look at this old diagram, and I know people will talk about you can get the photos and stuff here. So the way the Diamond Mine works is these fielders' locations are kind of set already. They're set in stone no matter what, as you've probably noticed as we played. And that does mean the Whitey Platt here is trying to cover all this space, playing way up here. It's a little bit bizarre. You just get used to it after a while. Tommy Henrik up there now with Coleman on at first, and he is hit by that pitch. He's hobbling around, looks like he'll be okay. That brings up Gene Woodling. We know that APBA wasn't planning on doing that because that puts the Browns in a pretty tight spot here early on. The runner's on at first and second, one out bottom of the first, and here is Woodling. And there's a ball inside, 1-0 the count on Gene. That's high, it's 2-0. And that's wide for ball 3, 3-0 is the count, and that's fouled back. 3-1 now the count on Gene Woodling. And there's ball 4 way off the play. That loads him up for Cliff Mapes. We know about Mapes, the great blog hero, hitting 328, and he fouls the first pitch back. 0-1 the count, and there's a ball. 1-1 the count now to Mapes. There's a liner to the gap in right field. That's going to score 2 at least. Here comes Woodling around third trying to score as well. And that throw is high. Mapes will take third, and so it's a double for Mapes, gets to third on the air, and it's 3-0 Yankees just like that. And here comes Rizzuto. So I was going to talk all about how as Rizzuto takes a ball, I was going to talk about how the Yankees' woes as of late have turned this into a much more democratic American League race as there's a strike in there to fill in a ball, 2-1 the count. But looks like the Yankees are about to turn that one around here. There's ball 3 into the Scooter, and that's a foul back. Full count now on Phil. There's a pop-up, out of play. Full count remains. There's the ground ball over to shortstop. We will have Mapes try to score, and he does score. Pellegrini has to go throw to first with that one. It's 4-0 now Yankees, and up comes Bill Johnson. And he hits a ground ball over to Jerry Pretty. The second baseman throws to first for the out. We go to the top of the second inning. Whitey Platt comes up there hitting 298, takes the ball, 430 slugging percentage, which is good. Fouls one away, it's 1-1. 3 home runs, that's where the slugging comes from. And there's a ground ball to Coleman, who grabs it, throws to first for the out, 1 away, and up is Sherm Lawler. Lawler hits a little pop-up over to Rizzuto, who grabs that one. And that just about does it. 2 away now into no man's land is what they call that. And here's Bob Dillinger. So Brown's a lot of first ball swinging, and Dillinger does the same thing. Hits a base hit past Johnson into left field, and that's a clean single for him. That'll bring up Roy Sievers now, runner on at first base. Sievers not hitting so well. And Lopat promptly throws a wild pitch. Silvera can't get to that one, and Dillinger moves up to second. You'll notice that Yogi Berra is not in the lineup here for the Yankees today. He's out resting. So here's Sievers again, and he takes a strike with Dillinger on at second base. There's a little roller rather back to the pitcher, and Lopat has it, throws to first for the out. We go to the bottom of the second inning, 4-0 still Yankees. Striking there to Charlie Silvera, the catcher. Another strike on the corner, 0-2 the count. That's wide, it's 1-2. And there's the little line drive. Pretty, the second baseman, drops back a couple steps, snags it for the out, 1 away. Here's Eddie Lopat. Lopat takes a strike and then a ball, 1-1 the count. That's not close enough. 2-1 the count now on Eddie, and there's ball 3 as he didn't go around on that one. Let's have him take again. There's strike 2, full count now on the pitcher, and that one is low and outside, and he does get the walk. Walk number 2 given up by APBA. So the Browns have a pitching crisis. APBA, as you can see when you look over here on this side, 23 and a third innings, in real life. And gave up, so far this season, 142 innings pitched real live. He's given up 12 walks and has recorded only 4 strikeouts. And you can see that in real life, he had a huge number of walks given up, 81 compared to 31 strikeouts. So Popeye with some control problems, and he throws a ball to Hank Bauer, who hits a ground ball down to Pellegrini. The second shortstop flips to Pretty for 1, and it goes on to first for the double play. And we go to the top of the third inning. Here's Eddie Pellegrini, who takes the ball. And there's one hit down to right center field, and that gets all the way to the wall. That one split Mapes and Bauer, and Pellegrini ends up all the way over on third base. So it's a triple from him. And let's see, that's his second triple of the season. We've had quite a few 3-baggers here so far in this replay. I've been noticing that compared to his 1 in real life. So he's doubled his pleasure and doubled his fun. Up next is Popeye, who hits a fly ball over to Mapes in center field, and that one's deep enough to score the runner, and it's a 4-1 ball game. Up now, Dick Kokos. Kokos got on an air last time, hitting 250. Leadoff hitter, 1-1 now the count on him. Pretty good on base percentage, 1-2. It's a slugging percentage, though, that makes me want to hit him more. And he hits a ground ball over to Phil Rizzuto, who fields it and throws to first for the out, 2 away. Jerry Pretty takes a strike, 0-1 the count. That's high and tight. It's 1-1 now on Pretty. And that's fouled back. 1-2 now the count on Jerry Pretty. That screwball's inside, 2-2 now. There's a little ground ball to the first base side, and Henrik goes and fields it and runs over to the bag, and he loses the race with Pretty, and that's a pretty poor play here by Henrik. Henrik had that error in the first inning, as you'll recall, very first batter up, and he let the ball just go straight through his legs, and now this time around, a little ground ball that he should have handled just fine, and Pretty was able to beat it out. That's why you don't give up on the play. Here's Jack Graham now, who takes the ball. So Henrik having a rough time out there. 1-1 the count now on Graham. It's inside and misses. 2-1 is the count. There's a foul ball on the fastball. It's 2-2, and there's a swing and a miss. Graham went too far, and we go to the bottom of the third. Jerry Coleman will be the first batter for the Yankees, and he takes the ball. And then a strike, 1-1 the count on Jerry, and that was too far inside. It's 2-1. That one's high. 3-1 the count to Coleman. There's a ground ball up the middle. That's going to be a clean base hit, and that'll bring up Tommy Henrik. Henrik is at 275 at the year, 0 for 1. I'm sorry, he's 0 for 0 today as he reached, I believe it was on a hit by pitch. He's had a heck of a game. And let's see what he can do with Popeye. Popeye throws over to first. We're not doing anything with Jerry. And there is a line drive down the right field line, and that is just fair and into the seats for a home run. 2-run homer for Tommy Henrik, and that will make up for all the errors in the world. So it's now a 6-1 ball game in favor of New York. Up now is Gene Woodling, and I think that this idea that the Yankees are going to fall out of first place is probably a little bit exaggerated. 2-1 the count now on Gene, and that's ball 3 outside. 3-1's the count on Woodling, and that's just fouled away. Full count now on Gene Woodling. Pops that one up, out of play. Full count remains 3-2, and that's fouled away again. There's a little pop-up over left side. Dillinger has that for the out, 1 away, and now it's Cliff Mapes. That's a pitch outside. Want to know the count. Mapes hits one straight to center field for the second out. Up is Phil Rizzuto, 0 for 1 today. Rizzuto hitting 310, but it's an empty 310 with a 381 slugging percentage, and he fouls one off. 1-1 the count now on the scooter. 2-1 as that was inside. And that's a little ground ball back to the pitcher. Popeye has it, throws to first for the out. We go to the top of the fourth inning. Whitey Platt now up for the Browns, takes the ball. And there's a strike. 1-1 the count now on Platt, and there's one hit over to center field for a base hit. That'll bring up Sherman Lawler, and that's a strike in there to Sherman quickly. And a ball. 1-1 the count now on Sherm. And there's a line drive straight to Phil Rizzuto, who grabs that one, and that saves that from being another base hit. That'll bring up Bob Dillinger. 4 hits for each team so far, still 6-1 Yankees. And there is a ground ball to the left side. Bill Johnson grabs that one and has no play at second, has to go to first with it just in time. And there's 2 away. Roy Sievers is up. And there's a little ground ball back to Lopat. The pitcher grabs it and throws to first, and we go to the bottom of the 4th inning. And here is Bill Johnson. He hits one straight to center field. Sievers has it for the out, 1 away. Charlie Silvera now. I tell you, both of these guys having a hard time hitting the ball. 1-1 the count now, and Silvera hitting 143 probably should be in the number 9 hole, and that's a ground ball over to Jerry Pretty, who throws to first for the out, 2 away. And here's Eddie Lopat, who at least is hitting 200 with basically no at-bats, but that's the way it goes. 2-0 is the count now, and Eddie. That's too far inside. It's 3-0. We'll have him take this one. And he takes ball 4. There you go. And APBA, for whatever reason, can't seem to throw a strike to the pitcher. That's 2 walks there for Lopat. Hank Bauer up now, and there's one fouled off. 0-1 the count. And it's a ground ball over to Pellegrini, who goes over to Pretty for the force at second. And we go to the top of the 5th. Eddie Pellegrini in there. And that's a swing and a miss on the first pitch. 0-1 the count. He tripled last time up. 1 for 1 so far today. And there's a foul ball. That's a bad swing by Pellegrini, and he strikes out. That is strikeout number 2 by Eddie Lopat. That will bring up Al Papai. Papai, no hits so far this season. Takes a strike and then fouls one off the catcher. It's 0-2. And there's a half-swing strike 3, and that's the end of his at-bat, and that will bring up Dick Kokos. And Dick takes a strike outside corner, 0-1 the count, and a little ground ball over to the right side. Jerry Coleman fields that one cleanly, throws to first for the out. We go to the bottom of the 5th. And here is Coleman, 2 for 2 so far today. Hits that one over to the left field, and Platt has that for the out, 1 away. Here's Tommy Henrik, who had that big 2-run homer last time, 1 for 1. Had a hit by pitch as well. 2-0 is the count on him. Fouls that one back. It's 2-1. There's a little liner that goes through into center field for the base hit, and that'll bring up Gene Woodling. Runner on at first base, only 1 out, bottom of the 5th. Woodling is 0 for 1 today. Hits a long fly ball down the right field line, but just foul. 0 for 1 the count. He was around on that one, and that's a ball. 1-1 the count on Gene. That's inside. 2-1 is the count. It's hit hard to right center field. Sievers chases after it, dives, and can't get to it, and that's going to be easy for Woodling. He winds up at third base with a triple, and that makes this a 7-1 ball game just like that. That will bring up Cliff Mapes. Mapes, 3 runs batted in this game, and there's Woodling over on at third base looking down at him. 0-1 the count on Mapes. 1-1 as that one missed. A little roller towards second base. Woodling is going to try to score, and he does. Pretty makes the play and throws to first, and so it's 8-1 now New York, and that will bring up Phil Rizzuto. Scooter up there takes the ball. 1-0 is the count, and that's in tie. 2-0 now on Phil, and there's a strike to him. It's 2-1. Little ground ball over to Pellegrini. The shortstop makes that play, throws to first for the out. We go to the top of the 8th, and it's Jerry Pretty for the Browns. 8-1 Yankees, and top of the 6th. I'm sorry. There's ball 2 to Pretty, 2-1 the count, and 3-1 as that was inside. Swings and misses the next one. It's a full count now on Pretty. That's hit deep to right field, and Pretty is able to get all the way over to third base by the time that Bauer is able to get up to that one. And that's another triple. That's what the 3rd triple we've had so far in this game. So lots of triples here at the stadium. That'll bring up Jack Graham, who fouls one off. 0-1 is the count now on Jack. That's high. It's 1-1. And that's a little bit high again. 2-1 the count on Graham. And he gets into that one to left field. Woodling grabs that one, and it's deep enough to score the runner. So it's an 8-2 ball game now. Sacrifice fly by Jack Graham will bring up Whitey Platt. It's productive. It's not as good as a 3-run homer or whatever, but it's something. There's a ground ball over to Phil Rizzuto. Shortstop has it and goes to first for the out. 2 away, 8-2 still. And Sherm Lawler up there takes a strike and then a ball. 1-1 it is to Lawler, and there's a little ground ball over to Henrik, the first baseman, who makes the play this time and gets to first on time for the out. He's had a couple of those that he failed. He let one go through his legs for an error, and there was another one where he kind of fell asleep on it and was beaten by the runner. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning, and it's Bill Johnson up here hitting 161, and he takes a strike, unsurprisingly. Swings and misses another one for strike 2, and there's a ball low, 1-2, and there's another ball. It's 2-2 on Bill. Swing and a miss at one in the dirt, and he strikes out. Bill Johnson having a real hard time at the start of the season. That will bring up Charlie Silvera, who's having an even worse time, hitting 125, and 0 for 2 so far today, and he takes a ball. 1-1 is the count. And there's ball 2 to him. 2-1 on Silvera. And there's one up the middle. Pellegrini dives for that one and just can't get to it. And in fact, his glove pushed it further into center field. That's a clean base hit for Silvera, and that'll bring up Eddie Lopez with a 1 out. We're not bunting with him. We're not going to do anything like that. Bottom of the 6th inning, we're up 8-2. We're going to let him swing. 1-1 now, the count on Eddie. If they get a double play, that's their prerogative. It's 1-2 now on Eddie. And that one just missed. 2-2 the count on Lopez. And full count on him now. He's walked twice already today. And there's a little ground ball over to Dillinger, the third baseman, who goes to Pretty for 1, and on to Graham, but first for the double play. We go to the top of the 7th, 8-2 Yankees. And this is Bob Dillinger. There's a ground ball over to Jerry Coleman, the second baseman, throws to first, 1 away. And up is now Roy Sievers, who takes a ball. And there's a strike, screwball, 1-1 the count, and there's a ball inside. It's 2-1. That's outside, 3-1 the count. And it's a ground ball over to Jerry Coleman, who again throws to first, 2 away. And here comes Les Moss. I was trying to save him and rest him by not playing him, and the computer wants to. He takes a strike and then pops up. That's a pop-up over to Phil Rizzuto, the shortstop, for the 3rd out. We go to the bottom of the 7th. It will be Hank Bauer up there for the Yankees. Hank Bauer now against Dick Starr, and Bauer takes a ball. And another ball, 2-0 the count. That's fouled away. It's 2-1. And there's a little ground ball over to the shortstop Sullivan, who throws to first, 1 away. Here comes Jerry Coleman, and there is a ball to Coleman. And another ball to him, 2-0 the count. And there's one hit over to right field, a little bit into the air, and Kokos grabs that for the out. 2 gone, and it's Tommy Henrik. Henrik 2 for 2 today. Some miscues in the field, and some pretty good work at the plate. 1-1's the count on him. That misses wide. It's 2-1, and that's inside for ball 3-1 the count. And there's ball 4. So Henrik walks for the second time. That'll bring up Gene Woodling. Woodling so far today, 1 for 2. And also, I believe, with a walk, yes. And I'm sorry, Henrik got hit by that pitch earlier. It wasn't a walk. Striking there to Gene. And there's a ball, 1-1 the count. And there's one pulled deep to right field. Kokos, though, has it for the out. And we go to the top of the 8th. Is going to be Joe Ostrowski, the current pitcher for the Browns, who takes a strike and then a ball. And there's one high, ball 2, and there's a strike. 2-2 the count. It's fouled away. Silvera looking up after it, no dice. 2-2 still, and that's swung on, foul tip, but Silvera can't hold on. Still 2-2. And there's that good breaking ball in at the knees for the strikeout, 1 away, and that will bring up Dick Kokos, 8-2 still. And there's a single into center field right off the bat by Kokos. That'll bring up Jerry Pretty now with a runner on at first base. Pretty, 326 on the season, hitting 2 for 3 so far today. 1-1 now, the count on Jerry Pretty. And there's a ground ball over to shortstop. Rizzuto has it, flips over to Coleman for 1, on to Henrik for the double play. And we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. This game, which started off a little bit slow, is moving fast now. And here's Cliff Mapes, who takes the ball and then hits a fly ball deep, not too deep, to Sievers in center field for the out. 1 away. Phil Rizzuto now. And he lines one over to Ostrowski, just off his glove. Joe is able to recover, throws over to first to get him, 2 away, and it's Bill Johnson. And Johnson takes the ball. 1-0 is the count on him. Now there's a strike, 1-1. And there's strike 2 in on him, 1-2 now on the 156 hitter. Takes the ball, 2-2. That's high and away for ball 3, full count. And that's in there for a third strike. It looked like a controversial third strike, but when it's an 8-2 ball game, we need to get home. 8-2 the score. We go to the top of the 9th inning, and up comes Jack Graham. Eddie Lopez working on a fairly nice complete game, though definitely not a shutout or any kind of hitter. 2-1's the count to Graham. I guess we could call it a 6-hitter as Graham hits a ground ball over to Rizzuto. The shortstop throws to first for the out. 6-hitter doesn't have much of a ring to it as there's one out here top of the 9th inning. So I just say call it a hitter. There's a ball in there to Whitey Platt. Fly ball over to center field. Mapes has that for the out, 2 away, and it's Sherm Lawler. Fouls 1 off. 0-1 is the count. There's a ball low, 1-1. There's the strike on a screwball, 1-2, and there's a ground ball over to Johnson at third base. Bill makes the play, throws to first for the out, and that does it in under 20 minutes. Game 1 of the doubleheader is done. Yankees win this one 8-2 and win it easily. Talk to you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.